Let's bring in CBS4's Jim DeFede. Jim, you've been doing some reporting on the reason for President Biden's visit to South Florida. What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, just to provide a little bit of context, Lauren, this is the president's third trip to Florida since becoming president. But the other two trips were not political in nature. The first one was when he came to Surfside after the building collapse, and more recently he came to the southwest part of the state to tour the damage by Hurricane Ian. So this is really the first time he's here in a political capacity. And I will tell you that, there is nothing more precious in the final week of a campaign than the president's time. The president, those surrogates, you see them traveling around the country, going repeatedly to places like Pennsylvania, Michigan, Nevada. Florida has not been a stop for a lot of these high-profile Democratic surrogates. And there's a reason for that. It's because, as you pointed out earlier, Charlie Crist is far behind in the polls. But one of the things that the White House decided was, while this may not be a trip that can actually turn the race in that case, the president felt strongly, according to my reporting, that he had made a commitment to Charlie Crist to come to Florida and that he was going to stand by that commitment to come and campaign with him. Now, it comes late in the campaign cycle, but still, the president felt as a personal obligation to Charlie Crist to come here and campaign on his behalf.
Jim, Florida has always been a swing state with very close elections. For example, the 2000 election was decided by, a few hundred votes here in Florida, especially the presidential races. But you think that's changing?
I do, and I'm glad you brought up the 2000 race. Let me get my prop here for a second. If you remember, during that 2000 race, it was Tim Russert who held up the sign, "It's all about Florida, Florida, Florida." Well, there's a lot of national Democrats and certainly plenty of Republicans who believe Florida's coming off this board. That after this election, Florida will no longer be considered a swing state. That what you're going to essentially see is Democrats shifting their resources away from campaigning in a very expensive state like Florida and instead keep the focus on states like Georgia, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, Nevada, that's the recipe that they're going to try using forward. So again, while I mentioned earlier, we have not seen a lot of President Biden in the state of Florida during his first 2 years. It's very likely that as we get into the 2024 election cycle, we may not be seeing a lot of President Biden campaigning in the state if he's running again, or whoever the Democrat is. And Republicans, they're feeling really good about Florida. I think that they view Florida much the way we used to think about Ohio. Ohio used to be a swing state. Now it's a solidly red state. Republicans believe that they are, as a result of this election coming up, they will turn Florida from a purple state to a red state. And I will tell you from my reporting, there are a lot of Democrats on the national level who are already willing to concede that fact privately.
A lot of electoral votes that the Democrats would be saying goodbye to if, in fact, that is what happens. We'll see. Jim, thank you very much.